Hey, good morning, dogs. Now wrestle. It's a low energy morning for those two, apparently. Alright, I'm gonna need lunch. So, protein bars, beef jerky, and almonds. A couple of quick updates here. In my last video, you saw that the 9560, one of our bigger tractors, had gone down. It ends up that it's not as bad as what we thought. It's actually, it was the fan clutch area, the water pump, somewhere in there, it had a seal or an O-ring go out, and it was actually leaking hydraulic fluid into the engine oil. So it was not water getting in there. It wasn't a head gasket issue. So it's much better than we thought. We should have that back. Maybe today, maybe the day after. Dad's gonna load some trucks. We've got 4 loads to bring down on shares, on pool shares into the ethanol plant. That is bringing corn in on the shares that we own. The last thing here is you might notice my busted open lip. I took a baseball to the teeth. It's not quite as bad as it sounds, and the story's not nearly as cool as it sounds. If you're interested in what actually happened, I'm sure Mrs. Millennial Farmer would love to tell the story on our Off the Husk podcast. But we'll get to work now before I embarrass myself. Just on a side note here, the planter has actually been working really well after we figured out a couple of sensor issues. And I think one of the big main problems we were having is actually in a check valve that's actually part of the old frame system. So part of our old planter system that got left on the frame were the solenoids and the check valves. And those things are that control the flow of hydraulic fluid. It was actually bypassing backwards when I was detenting one of the hydraulics when I pick up on the end and causing a big issue. But we've got a new part coming for that. For now, we have sort of band-aided or masked the issue. But once we got that figured out and we got rolling, it's been a couple of days now where we've covered a lot of ground, and I'm actually really impressed with this thing. It will hold at least 99.5, usually closer to 99.8, 99.9% singulation at 10 miles per hour on smooth ground. It's I'm not regretting switching it over, that's for sure, not at this point. Farming.
Fill 2 of the bins with beans, I figured 2 of the 30s or something. We'd have enough room for about 185 bushel yield, 183 or 5 in our bins.
Well, that's a fair amount, and we'd still be able to get some beans stored.
Yeah, I kind of like storing beans. This year we didn't store any, but I think we should. Especially, you know, if you have some beans 15% or 14%, then you don't get back for them.
This field is what we call corn on corn. So this was a cornfield last year. It's going to be corn again. It's a little bit tougher planting into corn on corn because you've got all the residue from last year. Creates the row units to bounce a little bit. There's a little more compaction from last fall's tillage to get through. You get some of these lumps. We did treat this field a little bit differently on tillage, where we ran the Mendeco on it. The Mendeco stormed to bust up more of the lumps. It didn't quite leave it as level as we were hoping, but it did break up the lumps. And then we came by with the land roller and leveled it off to get the row units to ride as smooth as possible. Windy out there. A couple other things I've done here is bump up my gauge wheel pressure to 200 pounds, where I've been running 160 to 180 on the other ground, so that it can really push through that residue a little better. And I have bumped up my closing wheel pressure as well from 1.7 to 2.1 for the same reason, just to help push through the residue and the lumps, make sure we get that seed trench closed. And the reason we're doing corn on corn, because generally we keep our rotation pretty close to a 50-50 split between corn and soybeans. This year with the grain markets the way they've been the last few months, it's a little more enticing to plant more acres of corn. Apparently the market is trying to demand that, and they're getting it, at least from us, but don't tell the USDA that. What time did they think they could be there tomorrow?
It's out in the morning.
Well, that would work out good then. So we'll just keep going with our same plan for today, and as long as it doesn't rain, we'll have them spread that tomorrow and put another quarter of corn in then.
Yeah, yep.
I think we may as well do it. Well, I guess we're gonna plant another field of corn on corn, so we will have close to 300 acres of corn on corn this year, which is pretty unusual for us to have that much corn, but that's what the market's calling for. Again, don't tell the USDA, because see, the USDA, they keep track and they have estimates of the corn acreages that are out there, and then when they release reports, it affects the markets, and it's a whole. Things are going good, but row number 10 is showing more skips than any other row, and it always bothers me to have one row that's showing something. Usually I'll find some little issue with it. It's planting like 97% singulation instead of the rest that are all at like 99.8. So I'm gonna open up row 10 and see if I can find anything. Oh. Double eliminator's good. I don't see anything in there. The bowl could be tensioned up a little bit. I'll add a notch into that. Needs another one. Maybe that's the deal. That's a little better. Why not check the brush since I'm here? There's not much going on inside of these. They're pretty simple, so I really, as long as everything's locked into place and it's tensioned up right, I don't even need to open that and check it. That's better. I'm out of seed on one half right now. We loaded one side of the planter a little heavier than the other because, surprise, surprise, we've got a few bags here of another variety that's supposed to be good that we want to test against a hybrid that we know is good. Hit the wrong one. There we go. Okay. Okay. Bold Sriracha. I hope I don't regret this. Oh, that's nothing. Okay, sounds good. See you there.
Yep, bye.
Bye. Just finished up that field there. Now we are going to go plant a small test plot that we do for our local county corn and soybean growers. You guys have heard me talk about them before in the past, where the companies pay money to be involved in these test plots that a few of us run or plant, and then that money goes towards scholarships for local youth that are going to school for something involving agriculture. So it's a little bit of extra work to plant these plots for sure, but it goes towards a good cause. You guys want to hear a fun fact? I once watched a train derail. We were driving on the highway, and right next to us the train started to derail. That's a true story. I really hate sitting at intersections while trains go by, but there's no, like, I can't back up. I just turned here. I can't sit on the highway. Now that I've shared that, I'd appreciate it if some of you shared some of your crazy experiences with me. Throw it down there. The idea here is that we're going to compare 10 different hybrids against each other. So to do that, we're going to put 6 rows on each side of the planter that are a different hybrid every time, and leave the 12 middle rows as what we call our tester. So it's going to be a consistent hybrid. We'll go back and forth until we got 12 rows of each different hybrid in there, and then we'll test them this fall and see what we've got. It's a little extra work because we've got to empty out each one. At the end of each field, we do 6 and 6. You'll see the process a little bit, but it takes some work for sure, but like I say, it goes for a good cause. I should mention too then that what we do with the data from the hybrids and the hybrid data is we actually print that off. Our local county board prints it off, and it gets sent out to all of our county members, and then it's an incentive, another little incentive to be a member of the county. I would encourage everybody out there who is a farmer or somebody who cares about agriculture, if your county or your state has a corn soybean organization or whatever organization, whatever they farm where you're at, become a member. We need the voices. There's not a lot of us out there that do this. We need those voices in places where it matters. There's Dad with the supplies. Got our different hybrids back here, different companies, all kinds of tools. Fun times.
Wind was supposed to die down this afternoon, but I don't think it is.
It'd be nice if it would.
Yeah, it's not as bad as yesterday right now.
No. Be much nicer out here without that though.
Sure would.
Slides on from the back.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Man, that wind is really annoying.
Yeah, it was really bad yesterday though. I don't like it today. It would have been terrible yesterday.
We should be good to put the first hybrid in these 6.
Yeah, we should be.
6 there, yeah. That looks like a number 1, right?
Is it? I bet it's Ennis. Yeah.
Anagen?
Ennis gold?
Innisfits?
Yeah.
I don't know how much we'll need. It's about 800 feet maybe.
Okay. You fill them up the first time?
Yeah.
It's hard to, bring them back to it.
All right, I'll meet you in like 830 feet.
Sounds good. I will be there.
All right. And repeat the process. And then again, and then again, and then again. On the map, I'm not keeping track of every variety.
No, I think that's fine.
Okay.
Bruce gave me a list. I don't remember if it's on the top of the toolbox or
It's
in the Ranger.
It's actually in the Ranger. It was on the seat. I put it in the, I guess, the glove compartment.
Okay.
Someday I just might drop this camera out the back window. But as long as I recover it, it makes some fun footage for you guys. We have planted our county plot. Now we'll take the boxes off the top that we added on there to give it a little extra room for the seed. Pull the stops out that we put in the vacuum lines, or the CCS lines. Go back to work. Now we're gonna switch over and plant that field over there a mile.
Well, now we know we can make a 40, do a 40, go a quarter-mile long rows of this, enough speed.
Right, yeah, they hold quite a bit. And just around later, we're actually done with this field now. We've got 2 fields left, about 180 acres. I'm gonna head home, grab some diesel and some DEF fluid, and we're gonna toss some bags into the seed tender that we're gonna need partway through the next field. Would you look at this? They are backed up at the pumps today. Stay. Good way to get him a little bigger.
Yeah.
Now this seed is our F2F seed. We got it from Farmers Business Network. This is conventional seed here, so it is non-GMO. It's not Roundup ready. We are gonna grow it as conventional corn. The majority of it is a 92-day maturity. That's what the hybrid is. We do have a 95, I believe, and a 98-day. But we ordered that directly through FBN at fbn.com. You can see all the transparency and the information about it online. Also, FBN membership is now completely free. All you have to do is participate in the data in order to have access to it. That gives you access to everything on the platform. Bags or so?
Yeah.
So we need
53 and it's got 45 here. Sweet. Yeah, we're not gonna have much left over, I don't think.
No. Back at it. 5 to 7. How's that Mendeco working out there? It looks really nice.
Yeah, this is really nice over here.
Scott.
How goes the battle?
Good, you?
Not too bad.
Good.
Plant some beans here up at Alex, so.
You got all your corn in?
Oh God, no. We just want to get everything done up here before we move home, so.
Yeah, I can understand that.
Easier than running back and forth as long as it's this close and everything's fit to go, so.
Yeah.
Are you about getting wrapped up in corn, or?
Well, I would be just pulling into our last field if we hadn't decided to add that extra field of corn on corn.
Okay, sounds good.
I don't know if I'll go later tonight and finish this one, but the plan is to get fertilizer on that other field tomorrow and plant that.
I was just going to tell you on that, that 99 day is actually a pretty damn good corn. Probably a little better option for you if it's going on good ground, so.
It should be pretty decent ground. It's been a little wet the last few years, but we threw some drain tile in it, so that's going to help it.
It's a Smart Stacks, and it's a little bit old. It came out about the same time as 197.66.
Okay.
So the price on it is actually, for a Smart Stack, it's actually cheaper than 194.49 is. So.
Oh, it is.
But you're not spending a ton of money to get the Smart Stacks, and it's a dang good yielder. So.
Yeah, and if it's been around that long, then you guys pretty well know exactly what it is too.
Russ planted, I think, 2 boxes of it, so he likes it, so.
Well, maybe I'll talk to Dad and see which one. Does it matter to you which one we take if I just come and get it tomorrow morning?
No, not at all. I mean, they're both sitting there, so either one's available, but...
Seed time already again. This time we'll put quite a bit in. Should be able to plant quite a few acres now. Roughly 124 or 5. Your what?
I got my coat.
Oh, little chilly out. You ought to have that. And away we go again. Repeat the process again. Just when I was thinking we were covering a lot of acres without a problem, here we go again. We've got a downforce issue on row 19. Here's the guy I need to talk to. Hi.
Hi there. Which approach would you like your pickup on? I told Jim the main approach, but maybe you want it closer to the south end.
Well, maybe not, because now I can't get any downforce out of row 19.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know, at this time of night, do we call Deere and get a sensor out here? Because it's probably a sensor, but the diagnostics is showing that it is, there's no weight on it.
Okay, I think I'd call them. They should still be there now, shouldn't they? The time of the year with corn planting going on?
Yeah, we might just get charged in after hours. Hey Adam, Zach Johnson calling. I'm out planting northwest of Lowry, and I'm guessing that I probably need a downforce sensor again. It's not showing on the diagnostics that I have any downforce yet. So I'm guessing I don't. I'm just going to set my auto steer here and head back towards the main approach because I don't have high hopes, but I got to move my auto steer line over. Row 19 is working just fine. Diagnostics. Gauge wheel down force. Okay. Let's pick it up here.
And I haven't listened to it thoroughly, but before I sent it to, we hired an editor. Everybody might be happy to hear that. I am no longer editing the podcast.
Oh, thank
so,
God.
Yeah. Whew.
It's been bad.
Well, I hate it.
Well, everything seems to be rocking along now. No issues seen on the screen. Everything looks good back here. I guess I'll just crank up the music and enjoy the sunset. Throw some corn in the ground. I'd love it if you joined me for my in-cab rock concert coming up, but due to copyright laws, I can't let you in on it. I've got just over 2 rounds left here, which I think should be in the neighborhood of 8 to 10 acres. But I got the one side empty now that we wanted to go empty because I've got these 2 other hybrids to dump in. A couple other options from Farmers Business Network, both conventional. Look at the dust sticking to these tanks tonight. Staticky, dusty. Couple half units here of the new 95 day. See what it does. There, label out. And once more. I'm hoping this last bag finishes, get done with this field. We've got 1 field of corn left tomorrow morning. We're gonna get some seed to finish that off, and then we're gonna switch this whole thing over to beans. We're gonna get the sprayer going. We're gonna have the roller moving. Beans are a lot busier. There's a lot going on during planting, oddly enough. They're much easier to harvest, but they're a lot busier during planting. That's gonna do it for tonight. just one more cornfield and we can move on to soybeans. This machine's got a handy dandy little feature where you can go in here and you can purge the brushes in row units. So it spins the row unit, spins the brushes, empties them out so that you don't have seed sitting inside anywhere, manipulating the brushes or warping them or anything like that. Pretty neat. Complete. EPG off, that off, float off, off. Shut this down.